What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Gaming with the Bros Cast, episode 187. My name is Harrison. I am joined by my brother Nick. As always, Nick, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. Had Monday off today, so
oh, nice, nice. I did not have Monday off today, but I took Friday off. Just kind of a random Friday or whatever.
Just 'cause you felt like it.
Yeah. The kids have a half day or whatever, and my wife Brittany was off, so I was like, you know what? I don't want to be out of the loop here, so I took it off and
don't have any FOMO.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, got off and played a lot of Lies of P that day. Actually, probably about 4, 5, 6 hours of that day.
Nice.
Just kind of like on and off. And then played some over the weekend. But yeah, it was a good week for me.
Nice. Same here. I really didn't do much at all this weekend. We went out Friday night, and I drove, so I didn't drink too much. But
yeah,
there was some recovery that happened on Saturday.
Really?
But it was fun. It was super fun to go out for the night, and we got after this one really cool restaurant that kind of overlooks Raleigh.
Yeah.
And then got dinner at one of our favorite places down there. It was fun. And then didn't really do too much this weekend. Played some games, played some Bloodborne, played some Redfall, Trombone Champ.
Well, Trombone Champ on the Switch?
Okay, I want to talk about this game really quick.
Okay.
It's so stupid, but it's been cracking me up so
yeah,
much.
I remember watching videos of it when it first came out on the PC. It kind of like hit the world by storm for like a day or so. But yeah, it's pretty dumb, but it's funny.
I mean, it's just like all of the open source music.
Yeah.
Like National Anthem, that kind of stuff. But it's so fun. Like it's mechanically, it's a pretty cool game. I don't want to hype it up too much. It's like 30 minutes of fun.
Yeah.
It's a $15 game. So it's I don't know if it's worth it, but I was cracking up just to myself playing it, because like a trombone playing some of these songs just sounds so ridiculous.
Yeah.
And if you're off key a little bit, it just
I think the whole point is to be off key and just to be absolutely.
Like, oh man, you're trying your best. Like,
and it's funny because like it looks like a Mii character.
It does, yeah. And like the stuff that like it's like almost like a slideshow that's happening in the background, but it's just this kind of like random assortment of pictures. Like for the national anthem, there's like a cheeseburger and American flag and all the stuff that keeps showing up, French fries and ketchup.
That's funny.
But I brought it over to a friend's house on Saturday, and we all played it for a couple minutes, like everyone playing at once, and that was very, very chaotic, but
it's funny,
but fun. Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, Trombone Champ. I don't recommend picking it up because it's $15. And
yeah, I wonder why it's so expensive. And that seems like a perfect like $5 game.
Yeah, perfect $5 game. I'm probably gonna play some more of it because it's just funny.
Yeah,
it's a funny game. But yeah, I just want to mention that one real quick. Harrison, I mean, do you want to dive into the games we've been playing? Or
yeah, we can dive in.
Cool. Harrison, it's been a journey for Lies of P.
It has.
I want to hear how your journey has ended.
Yeah, I wish I liked this game more, and I really like the aesthetic of it. I think, to be honest, I think I just wasn't skilled enough to play this game. I could not reflect to save my life. I felt like the enemies were just a little bit too. And I know I never really had it was never great in any of the Dark Souls at deflecting whatever, but and same with Bloodborne, like I got the shotgun down pretty good. Even Sekiro, once when I was rolling with it, I understood it and it clicked. But with this one, I could never go into a fight and feel 100% confident that I can come out alive based on pure deflecting and guarding and stuff like that. And for the most part, I mean, you can kind of get your way through the game without it. There are some bosses, especially like the human enemies, that you just have to kind of power through and just learn their moveset and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, a couple weeks ago I was stuck on the puppet master and was able to get through it after they nerfed the initial phase, and then I got stuck on the swamp monster for a little bit. That one was really hard, and I actually just ended up switching builds because dexterity is more of a deflect build anyways, and I couldn't do it, so I switched over to like a strength build or a motivity build, and was enjoying it a lot more. Like I still died a few more times on that same boss, but I was able to get through it pretty quickly after I switched over. I was doing so much more damage with I had like a bone. It's like a giant bone saw thing. I had pretty much maxed it out as much as I could up until that point. And it was just decimating like everything I was coming across. And then I didn't really struggle that much after that. Like when you fight Laxia, I think is her name. Laxasia on the bridge. Probably one of the coolest fights in the game. It's like super anime, lightning everywhere.
You can deflect the lightning bolts.
You could totally deflect the light bulb, which I was able to do. Those weren't hard to do at all. And I beat her on like probably under 10 tries. I really didn't struggle too much. I mean, I just I did like the what's it called? The acid grindstone on my weapon, and pretty much like obliterated her first phase. And then the second phase was a little bit tougher. She's a lot faster,
but still manageable.
But still, yeah, it's definitely still manageable. So I felt like that was a pretty fair fight. I didn't feel like I was getting bullshitted. And then yeah, I think after that I was starting to kind of wind down with the game. I don't know if it's this game or if I just can't remember in Dark Souls, but I feel like they try to screw you over at every point in this game with, like, I've gotten knocked off the edge so many times in this game. Really? Yeah, just from random stuff, whether if I
at the end.
If I drop down and there's I don't know, the enemy just hits me right and I can't dodge out of the way and I just get knocked off. Which is not usually a huge deal because the checkpoints and stuff are stargazers are pretty close. I mean, so it's really not that big of a deal, but there's one enemy at the very end once you defeat Laxasia and then you're going up the tower to release Geppetto. There's this one enemy right before there's like an area with like some scaffolding that you have to go across.
Yeah.
And he has like disruption and he's really, really annoying. It's the one that picks you up and can like steal your ergo. I ended up fighting him like 10 times. Was like, no, I was like, there's no way this stupid one enemy is gonna get me over like that. So I just ran past it and it was all good.
I don't know if I ever beat him, to be honest.
Yeah, I never did.
I was like, yeah, that last like little chunk of the area before you get to Simon, I just ran past it the first time, and then I went back after that and cleaned it up, looked for some extra items. But yeah, that I didn't love how long that last chapter was. I think it dragged a little bit.
Yeah, and lots of I mean, it was pretty much going up like a giant staircase, but some parts were broken and stuff like that. So lots of areas where you could totally fall off and get knocked off. And there was just a ton, like back to back, like higher ranked normal enemies, I guess. So yeah, I was pretty done with just that portion of the game. And then I got to the final boss and, I struggled for a little bit. I probably beat him in under 20 tries, I think. I feel like the game wanted me to use a lot of items, like throwables, which I don't particularly like doing in these games because you have to farm, and I don't love farming because I feel like I'm at a good point with my level, so I think I'm good on that. But if you want to farm, you have to go back and kill some enemies and get items, and then the items don't save, so if you use them and don't win, then you have to repeat the process. And then the same thing with like the specters, like if you die too many times and you waste it or whatever, then you got to go wait for the tree to replenish or whatever. And that's I think that's probably the biggest gripe I have with the game is the tree, because when you're just playing the game and going through these areas, it's totally fine. Like you can, you can go to the Stargazer and say, okay, there's 8 fruit. Let me go back, grab them, and then let it replenish. But if you're stuck on a boss, like I was for quite a few times in this game, I was just waiting. Like I was literally I had my game on for 30 minutes at a time, just letting it replenish, and I couldn't do anything. I just would go do something else. So the lack of that, I couldn't progress in the game because I was just waiting on this stupid item to replenish, because I wasn't gonna be able to beat it by myself without the Spectre. And
that's fair.
yeah, and then there was just one too many 2-phase fights in this game.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I can think of at least 4 off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Oh, 5 actually. Yeah, because you had Archbishop, then King of Puppets, and then
Swamp Monster, Lexasia, Simon, and then Nameless Puppet. Which, so I beat Simon. It was super, and it felt so good because I was on a sliver, one more hit, and I was gonna die, and I just ran in and then was able to slash him and got him. So that felt really good. And then I got to the Nameless Puppet, and you just have to deflect the entire fight. And his moves, or his range in motion, is so overpowered that I was just after 4 tries, I was like, nope. I went to the Stargazer, saw that I could give him the heart, and I was like, yeah, take my heart. I want this achievement so I can be done.
See, I hate that because I think Nameless Puppet is one of the best bosses in the game mechanically.
Mm.
I think once you learn it, it feels like a Sekiro boss or a Dark Souls 3 boss. I mean, it's a really, really great boss, and you can, if you use the electricity, whatever, the grindstone, you can tear through his first phase pretty quickly, especially with the puppet shrink if you have that upgraded to the third level. But yeah, I get it.
And the weapon I was using, I was using the bone cutting saw, but it was I guess it was too slow, and he would always be able to attack me in between my slashes, and then I could never stagger him. I felt like in this game I could never stagger every enemy I hit him with. They don't ever flinch or get act like they got hit. They just can immediately go through all my stuff, even my my Fable Arts. I would use that, and they could easily, I would hit them with it, and then they would just attack me and cause my Fable Art to stop going. So I felt like I was getting punished all the time in this game. Just I wasn't able to actually get combos in where I feel like I should have. And I mean, I've got a strength build, so I felt like I should be staggering these enemies, but for whatever reason, or I don't know. Again, it's all you got to get better at the game, but yeah, I just could never. It never clicked with me. In Sekiro, I struggled for a little bit, and then after that first couple bosses, it clicked, and I was like, okay, this feels really good. And I never got that. I never got that specific mechanic in the game to click for me, which is a bummer because you'd certainly need it for a lot of these bosses.
It's a pretty integral mechanic, and I wish there would have been a stagger bar for bosses, kind of like Sekiro, so what you're working towards with the deflects and the perfect parries and that kind of stuff. But I get your sentiment. If that doesn't click, then the whole game itself probably wouldn't come together. For me, this is a top 5 of the year. I really loved it. I think.
Yeah, and I really liked it. I love the aesthetic. I love the story is really cool. Yeah, I mean, I liked just about everything about it except for that one mechanic where I just couldn't get it done.
Yeah. And there's DLC coming out too. I'm really excited for that. I don't know if you got the post-credit scene.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, okay. That I'm really excited for. I hope they put out some really good DLC for this as well. And
see, I thought it was going to be another game because I don't want to spoil the ending for anybody, but that IP could be a really cool Souls take,
Yeah,
like Pinocchio is.
yeah. So maybe, I mean, maybe they do extend that into a full game. I don't know if that's
Maybe.
going to be the DLC or
Yeah.
if it's going to be something else. But yeah, I mean, I'm really looking forward to that. I think, and this is kind of a question for you, but do you think any of these bosses kind of hold up against like the echelon of Soulsborne bosses? Like, I think Laxasia could be
Yeah.
up there.
I mean, like, I don't know. It's hard to come at because just my standpoint on not being able to just get the mechanic right. Um, I mean, there was a couple like the swamp one I really liked, but he did have that one move
I thought that was the worst boss.
where I mean, aesthetically I liked it, but yeah, he had that one move where he would just like pounce at you and you would just if you didn't dodge out of the way like the first time, you were just dead. Um, that was kind of a bullshit boss moment. Um,
Yeah, I got to that one on New Game Plus and still struggled with it. And then after that, I was like, yeah, I think I'm done. I don't think I'm gonna follow through with the rest of this.
And I didn't love the fact that when you staggered some bosses that they would continue to do an attack after just one more bullshit quick hit they can get on you.
And that ramped
I
up
feel
more.
like that yeah, I feel like that was just I don't know. That really irritated me. And then once you die from it or you get hit from it, like you have to wait a second, but still it's just like come on, man. Like I staggered you. Like you should be down.
Yeah. Yeah. Ah, man, I wish you would have liked it more. But
Yeah.
I'm glad you finished it.
Yeah. I feel bad that I couldn't do the nameless puppet, but I was like, you know what? I'm good.
Yeah, I turned in Simon's boss soul and
Okay.
got his weapon and
Yeah.
actually used that one against the nameless
The
puppet.
like the big club.
Yeah.
See, and I got that and I upgraded it pretty far, and it was just too slow. I just couldn't. I would try to attack the boss, and he would
He would attack you in between.
he would attack me in between swings, and I just couldn't do anything.
Okay. I don't know.
And I had a pretty high motivity, like almost 40, I think. I mean, my health was pretty high up there.
Yeah, I think 40 is where it
Weight,
tapers off.
yeah, I think 40 is where you start to
Like it diminishing returns.
yeah, diminishing returns on stuff. I had my weight up, so I mean I had it under like 50. I had it like right at 58, 59%, so it didn't cause me to be slightly heavy. So I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I think I just cheesed the first phase with the puppet string
Mhm.
and the electricity grindstone, and that worked. And then I just kind of learned the second phase on how to parry.
Yeah,
Now that somehow worked.
yeah,
But well, speaking of Liza P, which is kind of a Bloodborne clone, I did play some Bloodborne yesterday.
yeah. I saw your tits. Like I was like, what? Bloodborne, really?
I booted it up because I don't know. I just felt like starting a new character, and I played for about an hour. And I do think this game needs either a 60 FPS boost or a remake because it does feel slightly dated
Yeah,
going from Liza P to Bloodborne because Liza P is 60, Bloodborne's 30, a little grainy. Looks a little grainy on the
on the old PS4.
yeah, on the PS4 and especially on like the uh TV, like a nice TV. But yeah, I booted it up, played for about an hour, and then I was thinking about my other character
Yeah.
that's been stuck on this last
Is this
boss.
DLC? It's DLC. Okay.
Yeah, it's the Old Hunters DLC. But yeah, back in 2016, I got to the last boss, and every year I've been trying. I boot it up like once a year and try a handful of times to beat this boss, and I can never do it. So I switched my profile. I grinded out some blood vials and quicksilver bullets,
Yeah.
which was really easy because I'm in like New Game Plus 3.
Oh wow. Okay.
So I can get like 30,000 souls from a quick run through an area. And I just use those to buy a bunch. And then I tried it probably 10 times, maybe more, but yeah, I got him on like like this much health
Yeah,
in
I
me.
watched it. I was like, good gosh. I was like, I
I
know
got
he was
super
sweaty.
greedy. Yeah, I got super greedy, and I was like, I'm gonna go in for this last attack, and then he used like his electricity pulse, and he got me down to one hit, and then I saw he had an opening, and I went in like a
Yeah.
second before he hit me. I was like, damn,
Yeah.
7 years in the making, finally done with this freaking DLC, which is like this DLC has, and I don't know if you've played it, but it
No, I
has
haven't.
the hardest bosses I've ever faced in a like a Soulsborne game. Maybe aside from Sekiro's last boss. But yeah, I felt pretty accomplished after wrapping that up after all these
Nice.
years. So yeah, I'm ready for Bloodborne. Ready for Bloodborne
Yeah.
remake, Bloodborne 2, whatever Sony and FromSoft can muster up.
Sony just loves a certain third person game that they just want to remake 1,000 times, but we'll talk about that here in a little bit.
Right.
But yeah, we definitely need a Bloodborne remake at this point. I mean, if you're not going to do Bloodborne 2, but I don't know, man. I'm kind of feeling like maybe we might get something at the Game Awards for Bloodborne related.
See, I think we're gonna get the Elden Ring DLC.
But is that show ending? Could they end the show on that?
Yeah, I think they could.
Unless it's like it's here tonight. You think they're gonna end on Elden Ring?
I think they could.
Okay.
I think it's gonna be a pretty meaty DLC. I mean, 2 years in the making.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost a full game's development time. Well, somewhat close. We'll see. I mean, I don't know. Realistically, I don't think we'll get a new Bloodborne, but the dreamer in me just wants to revisit that.
I mean, it sold like 10 million copies, didn't it? I mean, it sold pretty well.
So yeah, something like that.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, Harrison, I played one more game this week, and this one surprised me a little bit. So I jumped back into Redfall. I saw it got an update. It got a 60 FPS performance patch. It had
Game of the year, baby. That's all I needed.
yeah, that was the only thing it needed. It turns out. There were some other changes. They added essentially more enemy activity in the world, more frequent activity, and a lot of other like pretty good changes. I mean, granted, I didn't play a lot. Like I played probably an hour.
Yeah, same here.
When it first came out, and I was like, nope, no doubt of it.
It's terrible.
But yeah, I jumped in and like I just kind of started. I did one of the missions and then kind of walked around. Went through a few houses and just kind of traversed the world a little bit. And I leveled up enough where I got my character. She has the elevator boosts where like boosts you up in the air.
Yeah.
I leveled her up enough to get that upgrade, and then I just got her her ultimate ability. And, like I was kind of having fun.
No, you can't have fun with Redfall, Nick.
Right? Yeah, like it felt weird, but
this is the worst game of all time.
No, but the gunplay actually felt pretty good. I found some really cool weapons. I really liked that boost upgrade because I was just using it to jump onto houses and then I could break into windows and climb in and take out all these vampires. And I don't know, I feel like the enemy AI has been improved to some extent. And I boosted the difficulty a little bit to like the third difficulty out of 4, and that made the game more challenging, which was fun. Like the vampires actually had some oomph to them. They had impact to them. So like,
I mean, before, you could literally be standing there and they would either not shoot at you at all or whatever, or maybe not the vampires, but the I think there's some human enemies too. But yeah, they would. I mean, it was pretty bad.
And granted, they're not geniuses. You know?
Yeah,
it's not like it's gotten that much better, but I think the vampire AI has gotten marginally better, and they feel a little bit scarier when you're being chased by a handful of them. And like I found myself in like a couple of cool situations where I would run away, use the elevator to jump up in the air, and then I would turn around and shoot them, and then walk up to them and stab them with the stake.
Yeah.
Like I'm looking at the skill tree and like I see some cool upgrades that I want. So it's kind of drawing me in a little bit. I don't
Okay.
know even if that much changed with the game, but like the 60 FPS and the more populated world, like it feels more like a survival horror
Okay.
or more like a survival game than it did before.
Yeah.
Before it felt like a kind of a generic co-op shooter, and like I was thinking about like texting you and telling you to download it so we could jump in together and play a little bit.
Yeah. I
'Cause,
mean, I'm down. I mean, it's
like some of the upgrades were like if both are like the upgrade would be like you and your teammates if you guys jump into this elevator boost you get like increased damage when you're in the air and that kind of stuff. So I could be like,
yeah.
hey, jump into this thing, and I was like thinking of scenarios where it would be fun to play together.
Well, maybe. I mean, gosh. I mean, maybe. I mean, maybe we'll like this time next year they'll have like a big content drop or DLC or story expansion or something like that, and we'll be talking good things about Redfall. I mean, anything can happen, right? I mean, Cyberpunk launched in like one of the biggest messes of all time, and it's turned around, and people absolutely love it, and they love the Phantom Liberty expansion. So I mean, obviously, I mean, Cyberpunk is I think a bigger IP than Redfall will ever be, but I mean that's cool. I'm glad that they, because once it launched, I mean they said they were going to be doing improvements, but I was like, I don't know, maybe they're just going to let this thing die. But
yeah, like I hope they update it more. Like I haven't played through much of the story yet, but
yeah,
I don't know. I'm kind of digging it. It's kind of a breath of fresh air in between, or like after finishing up Lies of P and Armored Core, and those kind of more punishing games like this
yeah,
one. Yeah, I mean I've only played it for another 2 hours, but yeah, been
that's
kind of
cool.
fun.
Yeah, I might have to re-download and check it out.
Yeah, you should.
Sweet.
Well, have you been playing anything else?
No, that's really that's all I've been playing. I jumped into like one match of Halo and got destroyed, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna wait for the next season.
Only a few weeks away.
Yeah, I mean, I got like obliterated. I was just like, man, it's like this is like not even fun right now.
Damn.
Yeah, I think that's everything yeah, that's it. Just Lies of P.
Just Lies of P. Well, next week we have or actually the end of this week we have Lords of the Fallen. If that comes out and the reviews are like mid 80s, I'm probably gonna pick this up.
Yeah, I mean, it looks cool, man. It looks.
So, I mean, I'm all in on the Souls right now.
I say, yeah, you're all in on the soul stuff. You just love to love to be punched in the face over and over again.
I do. I'm a bit of a masochist. Love to struggle.
I mean, yeah, but it looks cool. I imagine what reviews are going to drop. What, Wednesday maybe?
Yeah, I think Wednesday or the 12th. Which
does it come out? Does it come out Friday?
Yeah, it comes out Friday.
Cool.
Yes, we'll see. I mean, yeah, it could be promising. I don't know why they decided to reboot the franchise.
The Lords of the Fallen.
The Lords of the Fallen.
Did you watch the Pack of McAfee show today?
No, I didn't. I forgot.
God. I think it's 1 to 3:30 every day. Just watch it on YouTube. Yeah. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah. My team did go off this week though. I have Fields, the QB for the Bears.
Yeah.
And then I had their wide receiver as well. I can't remember his name.
Oh, DJ Moore.
Yeah, DJ Moore. They were a powerhouse.
Yeah. Thursday. Freaking Panthers got rid of him.
Shouldn't have.
Yeah, now they're like, oh yeah, we've got a good quarterback, but we have nobody to throw him to. Yeah, because you got rid of everybody, man. What the heck?
Yeah, Panthers are struggling.
Yeah. The Ohio State. No, the Lords of the Fallen. It looks cool. Yeah, if it reviews pretty well, yeah, I might make a little halvesies on you, because what else is, I mean. Well, we've got Mario next week too. Mario and Spider-Man, and then
Alan Wake 2.
And then Alan Wake 2, which is a must-have game. Yeah, I can't wait for that.
I'm so happy that one's coming out so close to Halloween.
Yeah. Have you watched any Halloween movies, TV shows, or anything?
No,
I
haven't. I haven't watched any.
Yeah. I did buy. We went to Party City a couple of weeks ago. I bought one of those like little 6-inch, 7-inch skeletons. They're the ones that have like the retractable, not retractable, but bendable limbs and stuff like that.
Wait, 6-inch skeletons?
Yeah, like a 6-inch like skeleton, little mini
Oh, okay.
skeleton.
Okay.
And I zip tied him to the antenna on the trucks, and I've got him like going sideways. So when I drive, it looks like he's like like holding on for dear life.
Hell yeah. I want to get the 5-foot skeletons and like put them into various positions in the yard.
Yeah,
I think that'd be funny. Like, or,
just
or
like
have them, like,
move him every day into like some funny position or something.
Yeah. They're pretty expensive though. A 2-pack is like 120.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like,
that's where like I've always wanted to invest in Halloween stuff, but everything is like animatronics are so expensive. Those skeletons are super expensive. Like I really want like the 12-foot like Home Depot skeleton, but that thing's like $300.
Yeah.
And with Christmas, I mean, Christmas is like easy. Just put up lights and like inflatables and stuff, which are pretty cheap. But
yeah, it's so enticing walking into Home Depot and seeing that giant skeleton though. Things.
You want to dive into into the news first, and then we'll dive into. I guess you want to do hardest Soulsborne bosses first.
Yeah. Okay, I put this question out. Put this question out on TikTok, and I'm interested in your thoughts or your answers. But a few of the answers I'm seeing on here, a lot of Melania from Elden Ring.
Yeah.
A lot of Ishin, the final boss of Sekiro, which I think is valid. Let's see. Yeah, a lot of people are saying Melania.
Nobody said like the Nameless King from Dark Souls 3.
No, I don't see any Nameless King. That one was really hard, but I think that was more of a camera issue.
It was, yeah, a super camera issue.
Yeah, that dragon was super annoying for the camera. I would say that one might be the hardest from Dark Souls 3. Either that or the Lord of Cinder.
That was the final boss, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a really fun fight though. Like, it was a good fight.
It was very much like a mano-a-mano.
Yeah.
Like both of you kind of have the same build.
Yeah.
You know, it kind of feels like you're fighting another player a little bit.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of. Man, yeah, I'm trying to think.
I mean, Bloodborne the final bosses in Bloodborne weren't too bad.
No, the old like the hunter, and then the moon.
Yeah, I don't remember those giving too much trouble.
Yeah, I didn't die. I beat those pretty quickly.
Did you ever play Dark Souls 3's DLC?
No, I didn't. No.
Some of those were pretty tough. I mean, really, like a lot of the DLC bosses are just generally.
Yeah, they're generally tougher than the base stuff.
Yeah, glad Sekiro didn't get DLC.
God,
for that reason. Dude, some of those Sekiro bosses were. I mean, Owl. Like,
yeah, I'm still stuck on that thing. 5 years later, 6 years later.
Yeah. Hey, at least you don't have to grind anything out before you fight them.
Yeah, but I feel like I need some of the shonen arts or whatever it's called. I can't remember what exactly like the firecracker stuff that you can use and some other stuff.
Are those consumables?
They are. Yeah, you have to have.
Oh.
Yeah. And see, maybe that's just what I don't love about like Dark Souls. Didn't have Elden Ring. They didn't have any of that stuff.
Well, they did. I mean, they had like the fire paper.
Yeah, but I never once in Elden Ring felt like I needed to use a throwable. Not one time. I probably did just on some stupid enemy, like in the world, but I never felt that I needed to use anything going into it other than a summon or whatever, or something to ignite your weapon on fire or whatever the case is. But other than that, I never felt like I needed to throw like a knife or whatever the case is. where
Yeah,
Liza P, like most of the like every time I would pull up a guide, they were like, yeah, just cheese it, throw stuff at it. And then I would throw stuff at it, and I would waste like 6 of the things, and then I never even ended up beating it. I'm like, I'm
yeah,
not
none
wasting
of
my
it
time on
worked.
this.
Yeah. Well, I guess Elden Ring. What would you say the hardest boss was there?
I don't know. Like the final boss was the first phase. I really liked. Like that was a really cool fight. And then the second phase, it wasn't hard. It was just a huge arena, and you spent most of the time running, and it had a lot of like AOE attacks that were kind of hard to dodge.
Yeah, it's kind of like bullshit.
Yeah, it was a really bullshit fight. Like I really hated that fight, that second phase. I mean, Millennium was tough. I didn't really find her to be that impossible. Like I probably beat her under 20 tries, maybe. I didn't really
Yeah.
get stuck on her, like a lot of
Yeah,
people did.
it's one of those things where like after the first few, I could see how I would beat it. I just
Yeah,
needed to execute.
just need to execute. Yeah, and then like Radon was
I mean, he
pretty
was
challenging. Like, he was pretty hard. I mean, but you had to. I mean, once you learn like the initial move set to get past like his when he's shooting the arrow at you, and then you get in there. Yeah, it's. I mean, he was pretty hard. I mean, he was. I struggled on him for a little bit, but ended up beating him. But again, I didn't feel like he was impossible, and that's like I think like most of the bosses in Elden Ring, I felt like I never felt like I could not do it. And when Liza P, I'm just like, there's some boss where I'm just like, yeah, I don't know about this.
Yeah, yeah. All the Elden Ring bosses felt attainable, and it always felt like you could leave and come back later when you were when you were higher level.
Yeah, and that's the thing
That's what
too.
makes
It's like,
them enticing.
yeah, it's definitely it's definitely a challenging game, but it's definitely probably the easiest Souls game, I think.
Yeah, I'm looking at these bosses. Like,
Especially like when you have your own personal summons that you can bring in, and then if you get the mimic summon, I mean, it was just like oh, you felt, but it made you feel really good though, because like once you get that thing in there, you just feel like a god.
oh yeah,
And I think that's really okay.
yeah. No, I think there's nothing wrong with that. Like the mimic did trivialize a lot of bosses, but
There was I remember, and this was a pretty early boss in Dark Souls 2, but the twin Sentinel bosses, where you go through the fog door, and you're like on this platform, and they're down in the arena, and one of them jumps up at you, and then you just have to fight two bosses. Like it was pretty. I remember that being like a pretty, like hitting the wall for the first time in that game in Dark Souls 2. I think they were called Twin Sentinels, if I remember correctly.
Dark Souls 2 had some tough bosses,
It did, yeah.
and maybe that was because that was my first Souls game. But yeah, I remember, and the run ups, some of those bosses.
Yeah,
So long.
yeah, they were.
Oh
I think that's why they were so hard.
Yeah, it's like really, I'm gonna spend 2 minutes getting to this boss. Like,
What about how about the fire giant from Elden Ring? How did you feel like that was pretty obtainable or doable when you first fought him?
yeah, that one was really hard, and his roll was kind of hard to avoid,
Yeah,
and it would take off like the majority of your health.
I think the first time I went through, I cheesed him. Like I got him to get stuck. No, I got him halfway down, and then after the second when the second phase started, I jumped on the horse and ran up the side of the mountain, and then jumped off, and the fire giant followed me, and then he jumped off, and it was high enough where it did fall damage to him and knocked his whole health bar out.
Nice.
I think that was the first time going through. So yeah, maybe it was a lot harder than I thought, but yeah, that one was kind of a struggle too.
I did think I'm looking at a list of Elden Ring bosses. Estelle, Natural Born of the Void. I don't know if you remember that one, but
Oh, was that like was that one of like the giant bosses you fight like in the underground cavern?
I don't think so. I think it was. Oh, it's a legend boss.
Oh, okay, yeah, I think I know who you're talking about.
Oh, it's yeah. I guess you. It's also a field boss,
Yeah,
but That one was really tough. I remember struggling on that one for a long time.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. I think that's the one like after. I think you have to go. You get into that coffin and it takes you down.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the one.
yeah. Okay, yeah, I remember that one.
Cool area, but
Yeah,
stupid hard boss. God, Elden Ring was so good.
it was. Gosh,
Looking at all these bosses and like none of them were super unattainable. Yeah, like aside from Elden Beast, which is really just a environmental issue
yeah,
with the boss. I don't think I don't think the boss itself was hard. I think it was way too tanky.
yeah.
But yeah,
Like yeah, Margot and Margit were all cool bosses to fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Godfrey
Godfrey. Yeah, Godfrey was cool.
or Godric. Yeah, I guess.
Godfrey's like the guy, right? You could just run up on and whack him while he's talking, and then he dies.
Yeah. Godric the Grafted. That was like the second boss.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was a cool one. See, I like that one because it was a two phaser, but once you got him halfway, see, yeah, I don't think I like two phase boss fights where their health comes back.
Was Elden Beast the only one
I
that had the two phase aside from maybe
Melania was. I'm pretty sure Melania was a two phaser, right?
Yeah, Melania was two phase, and the last boss before Elden Beast, I think, was a two phase boss.
Godric. Yeah, he was. I think because he transformed into like the beast, right?
Yeah.
But was that a half phase, or was that a half? That might have been a half bar.
Yeah, it might have been half.
Oh, and then this is like really just turned into the Elden Ring talk, but I liked what was the guy with like the black cloak on?
Oh, Malekith.
Malekith. Yeah, that was a cool fight too.
Yeah, that one's pretty sick. I think that one was a half.
That was that was half
transformation.
So I bet that one my first try. I felt really good.
I was so jealous because I struggled with him for a good bit. I was like, "What? You beat him first try?"
Yeah.
Oh my god, you're insane, dude!
You're insane.
We never struggle on the same boss.
I know, right?
It's so weird. Like, I on New Game Plus, I first tried the Puppet Master, and granted that was post patch or the King of Puppets, whatever.
Yeah.
His name is. But like, yeah, I didn't struggle on the second half because I was like at that point pretty good at facing the human enemies.
Is New Game Plus? Are the enemies more challenging, or is it just you're stronger?
I think it scales.
It does scale.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it definitely scales. I don't think it's. I still think you're stronger than them.
Yeah.
But
it does scale a little bit. I mean, I think Elden Ring technically scaled, but as well, but not a lot. But see, I love, like, that's my favorite New Game Plus is like going back and just obliterating the enemies you struggled on.
Yeah.
Because like after the swamp boss, I mean, there was like the part where you fight the rest of the
the Brotherhood.
The Brotherhood, and I did that on my first try. Like that was pretty easy.
Mm-hmm.
And then I beat the, I don't know, it was the parade puppet. The one when it's got all the stuff, whatever. I beat that on my first try.
Yeah.
But I mean, it wasn't really a tough fight. It was just pretty much the same fight. At the SF, I think he had a wider range of motion for his attacks, but
and he had decay.
Yeah, and decay.
Yeah, weird difficulty spikes.
Yeah, I don't know. But go back to Lies of P real quick. I do love the fact that you kind of circle back and go back to the very beginning of the game. That was a really cool moment.
That was a realization.
Yeah, and you're like, what? You're like, wait, is that's the train car it came out of? And then there's like an item or something in there.
Yeah,
that was really cool. Yeah, man,
yeah,
Lies of P is a good game.
I think the bosses overall might not have been up to snuff for expectations. I think, there were some really great bosses. I think King of Puppets, really good boss. Lexasia, really good boss. Nameless Puppet, really great. I think there are a lot of really good bosses, but I think the low points are pretty low.
Yeah.
Swamp Monster's pretty low, I think. Simon is pretty low, and I mean even the Brotherhood, like those are like some pretty low gang bosses when you compare it to Bloodborne and Elden Ring and Dark Souls. I think that's kind of where it falters. I like the areas in between bosses are all great. Like none of them are too difficult. They're all
not too difficult. I never was like, man, I really hate this area.
Yeah.
Like even the one area where the two puppets of the future are like walking around. Like I thought that was a pretty cool area. And you meet the other puppet that's kind of like you, but it's kind of destroyed, and you keep going back to him and tell him what you learned. Yeah, I think it's cool.
Yeah, good game. Just
yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I'm just not remembering a ton of like specifically Dark Souls 3 bosses.
there are a lot of gimmick bosses in Dark Souls 3.
Yeah.
Like the giant, the Iron Giant, whatever his name is, where you have to run past him, get the sword, and then you just use that sword on him.
Oh, okay, that was Dark Souls 3. Okay, I couldn't remember if that was that one or not. And that one was cool.
And then the big monster with the two hands, and he has the rings, or he has the bracelets on each hand.
Oh yeah, the big skeleton.
Yeah, the big skeleton.
Yeah.
The Borealis dancer of the something. That was a really cool boss. The one that has the dual swords.
Yeah. Oh yeah. When you yep, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Man, I kind of want to go back and play some Dark Souls 3.
That one had. I feel like that one had one of the best balances of difficult bosses.
Yeah.
That were still fair. I don't know. Dude, I love Dark Souls 3.
Yeah.
But I guess there's no objective answer to the hardest Soulsborne boss. It's just whatever you struggled on the most. Yours is probably Owl because you're still on him.
Yeah, I still can.
Orphan of Kos. I mean, hey, get back into Sekiro, man.
I need to. I definitely don't want to start over because like just the thought of fighting the stupid like headless monkey again or whatever. Like I'm good.
Yeah.
That one was pretty hard. I remember struggling with that one for quite a while, and then you fight him again with his like I don't know, the girlfriend or whatever.
Yeah.
Ugh. But yeah, man, Sekiro is really good too.
Sekiro's a great game.
I mean, I remember like the last time I tried for a couple of hours to fight the owl, and like my hands were just like cramping up. I was getting ready to go on like injured reserve list because my hands hurt so bad. I don't know, man. I'll beat him one day. I'll beat him one day. Let's jump into the news. So we already talked about Redfall getting its 60 FPS patch and various updates and stuff like that. I didn't see this one, Nick. Talk to me about
came out today.
Okay.
The Unity, the engine makers, their CEO John Riccitiello, he's stepping down from like every position he has at Unity. I think he was on the board as well and held a few other positions. But yeah, he's stepping down. Obviously, probably over backlash to their terrible policy that they're implementing in 2024, where the publishers and developers have to give a cut of their game downloads to or they have to pay Unity like 20 cents for every game download, something like that. And that like included demos and all that kind of stuff. So it was a very terrible policy that they've brought up. So CEO is stepping down. Who knows what kind of changes are going to come out of that in regards to the policy.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I mean, we talked about this a couple weeks ago, but it kind of sucks for developers like Team Cherry that are developing Hollow Knight Silksong, and I think that's developed through Unity.
Yeah.
Or being developed through Unity. Like, man, I would be nervous if I was planning on launching my huge game in 2024 and knowing you have to pay 20 cents per download for every game sale, essentially. Like, that's already on top of the revenue cut that you have to give to whatever platform you're on. So I don't know. Probably a good thing that he's stepping down. I heard he wasn't a great guy. I think he worked at a few other companies that kind of tried to not scam people out of money, but essentially do that.
Yeah. I mean, like, I know with like Epic, you have to. I mean, I don't know the exact workarounds of or how exactly these game engine companies work and how they. I mean, because I know they license like their engine for use.
I think it's just a fee you pay.
Like a
Monthly.
one-time fee, or
I mean, it's either one time or
yeah.
monthly.
I get it. Like, I get you need to make more money. Like, I understand that you need more of a profit, and they have a ton of like staff too. I don't know, maybe just increase the monthly fee or something like that. Like, I mean, I know obviously on paper you say, oh yeah, every single download for 20 cents per download, that's going to get us way more money. But I mean, I don't know if you're trying to just make a little bit of extra profit, up the charges a month, the monthly fee or whatever. But
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that quite, like how to solve that, and who knows if they're going to backtrack and try to figure out another solution on how to profit more. But I don't know. I think the damage has been done at this point.
yeah, I think the damage to their reputation has been done.
So yeah, it's a shame because I know there's so many developers, and yeah, if you're a year or so in development or plus, like you probably might consider switching to another engine.
Yeah, and like and that sucks too because I heard Unity was a pretty good engine for developing 2D games. So, and like, and from what I heard, it's relatively cheap to use and potentially free for like very small developers. So, that sucks. It sucks that you kind of get nickel and dimed when it's already hard to break even on a game to start with.
Yeah, that's the way of the world of just all this this stream, especially streaming companies. Like I've canceled my Netflix. I'm not paying like $20 a month for this that I don't even use, and like the app doesn't even work for me most of the time. Like it'll like lag and stutter. So I've canceled that, and then Disney Plus is raising their prices up to like $20 a month for like the ESPN, Hulu, and Disney Plus. I'm in the Legacy bundles. I don't know if that one's going up, so I'm gonna wait for the first time for it to go through, and then if it's like 20, yeah, I'm just gonna. I think there's an option that's like $10 a month for like Hulu and Disney Plus with ads. So I may dip down to that because there's stuff that Brittany watches on Hulu. Yeah, I don't know. It's like eventually all these streaming companies they're going to cap. You're not going to get more people in. I don't believe. If people already want, if people come and go too, like if a show comes out that they want to watch, they're like, all right, I'll pay a one-time $5 a month fee or whatever it is, and then I'll watch it, and then I'm done.
Yeah.
Nobody. Yeah, I don't know. Like when I watched Halo, I paid I probably paid $15 all in all because I think it aired over two months or something. I watched that and I was like, yeah, I'm not staying with Paramount Plus. What, are you crazy? Like,
no.
Yeah.
No shot. Yeah. It's just not. It's not economical to have all these streaming services because realistically, you're not going to watch everything at once.
Yeah, exactly.
So like the only thing I've been watching is Hulu. Like we don't have Netflix. I have Disney Plus. Well, I guess I have that through like the Hulu ESPN bundle.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't really watch Disney Plus. I'm not really interested in any of the Marvel or Star Wars stuff that's coming out.
Yeah, I mean, I've finished up Ahsoka on for Star Wars on Disney Plus. Utterly fantastic. Like that was an amazing show. But other than that, I mean, I know Loki's coming on there, which I kind of want to watch because I watched the first season, but
it's already out.
Oh, it's already out. See,
or it's coming out.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
It might. Yeah, the first episode might drop this week. I'm not quite sure, but yeah, I don't know. I don't enjoy paying all this all this money a month. Obviously, nobody wants to pay money at all, but I just don't need all these streaming apps. I really don't.
I'd rather just have cable.
At this point, right? I mean, geez. I mean, my cable bill was getting like my internet and cable was like jumped up to like 180, and I was like, yeah, I'm done paying for this. But yeah, when I pay for my regular internet, which is like $90 a month, and then Netflix, and then the Disney Plus bundle, and then I was still paying for Crunchyroll, which I'll re up next month. Hopefully, if they do the dub and sub side by side for Attack on Titan, probably won't, but if they do, I'll re up on that. But I got my money's worth out of Crunchyroll because there's a lot of good stuff on there. But yeah, I don't know.
The bubble's gonna burst, and I think it's gonna happen soon. Like with how aggressively Netflix and Disney are increasing their prices. Like this is like the second time this year that Netflix has done it.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Maybe the second time that Disney's done it. Like unless they start, and there will probably be a lot of layoffs at Netflix and Disney, but damn, like it's not sustainable. Your shows aren't that good. They're not worth it. Like
yeah,
and that's just being realistic. I don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Well, I mean, and maybe if they got like some like live content on there, like a talk show, or if they were to, I don't know, find like a big podcast or something, do like a video and it's exclusive on one of these platforms. Like I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out there, but yeah, it's not sustainable. It's not.
No.
And people don't want to pay 1,000 subscriptions. Like what's that one app that I think it's hilarious because it's like, oh, you if you will cancel stuff that you didn't realize you still had. I'm like, who's paying for something they don't realize they have it?
It's like, do you
not see it coming out of your? It's like I look at my bank account like every other day, or at least a few times a week.
Yeah, like at least your like monthly bank statement, you don't see it on there. Like,
it's like what is this? What is this subscription? The only thing at this point right now that I really feel like I get value out of is Game Pass, because they've been killing it this year, and like my Apple Music, because I just can listen to so many different songs and stuff.
Yeah, like I have Spotify, and I think that's worth it.
Yeah, and I pay $15 a month for Apple Music, and I get the family plan, so I can use it, Brittany can use it, Kaylee can use it, so yeah, it's just. There's like the only two things I feel like I get my value out of at this point.
Yeah. Like Game Pass, I think that's worth it. I think there have been enough games that I've played on there that I've really enjoyed this year, like between Starfield, Lies of P.
Yeah.
What else came out on Game Pass this year? It's Wolong.
Yeah, Wolong came out.
I know I'm missing a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, there's a ton of stuff that I just.
Oh, Hi-Fi Rush.
Yeah, Hi-Fi Rush was on there. Ghostwire Tokyo dropped this year.
Yeah, Ghostwire,
not
Atomic Heart.
Fantastic game, but still something. I mean.
Yeah, there's been a lot of like there's at least been a lot of stuff that I want to try.
Yeah.
Maybe not but I'm glad that I have Game Pass for that reason. So I'm not, spending $60 on a game that wasn't for me.
Yeah,
it's like,
exactly.
It's like Ghostwire and Atomic Heart.
Yeah.
Wolong to an extent. Yeah, I mean, I think Game Pass is great. I mean, even tomorrow, right? Forza Motorsport's coming out.
Yeah, Forza drops tomorrow.
Racing fans, and then I think there's some other stuff coming out throughout the rest of the year.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Game Pass has been great this year. I think this year has been a lot better than last year.
Oh, for sure. Last year had almost nothing. It was Scorn and A Plague Tale, which
and
High on Life. Yeah, is that DLC? Is that free for Game Pass, or is it you have to buy that?
No, I think that's a paid DLC.
Okay, is that already out?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Fucking Scorn, yeah.
Scorn.
Every year I play it. I don't want to call it a bad Game Pass game, but I play a subpar Game Pass game to its completion between like this and 12 minutes.
Oh God, 12 minutes, dude. I don't even want to think about that game. Like, as far as like the gameplay goes, I enjoyed it. Like, I enjoyed the concept of it, but
who thought of that?
Who thought of that story? God, like, that was just terrible.
So stupid.
You married your sister? What the heck? Oh,
yeah, That's so weird.
Yeah, that game was something else.
Yeah, would you say that's the worst Game Pass game that you've finished?
Yeah, and I don't even think it's that bad necessarily. I just because like I really enjoyed the experience, like the mystery behind it, and like why is time resetting every 12 minutes, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
All that was really cool till the very end where you realize the story like that this is what the story is. But yeah, mind boggling why they went that route, but I don't know, probably like Scorn. I enjoyed Scorn. I definitely didn't love it.
I enjoyed some parts of Scorn.
Yeah.
Anything that was combat based in that game was utterly atrocious.
Yeah, the combat was terrible. I hated the combat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed Scorn for what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was okay.
It
was very okay.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything else Game Pass wise though.
That was bad.
That was like super like an like an exclusive or whatever, like a first come to Game Pass. I can't think of anything. I'm sure there is something, but
you still need to play Cocoon.
Yeah, I downloaded it yesterday, so I've got it. It's
a short,
ready to go.
Short game. Finished it in 2 sittings.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
What else we got here?
We got Halo Infinite Season 5. We already knew it was coming, but they dropped the trailer for it today. Man, Halo 5, I keep saying Halo 5. Halo Infinite, if you're sleeping on it and you've been thinking about going back in,
wake up.
Yeah, wake up and October 17th is when this new thing is dropping. It looks really cool. I mean, they've completely redid like the armor, so where you can actually just mix and match all the armor now, which is super cool. You don't have to have a specific core. The new flood skins look insane.
So badass.
I believe there's a new weapon too, right?
A new variant of the bandit rifle.
Yeah, with like it has like a scope or something, which could be cool.
Yeah, there's 2 arena maps.
Yeah.
There's a new. Oh, I think. Oh, what's it called?
There's the like you could put AI into the game now, into like the Forge. There's like an AI toolkit, which is cool. Yeah. And this says it's complete your career rank journey and obtain the rank of hero to unlock the Infinite Mark. Is that 6? Yeah, 6 armor kit. Which is cool. You get Halo. You get Halo. Mr. Halo, John Halo. You get a Master Chief's armor set, which is cool.
Nice.
You can earn XP in custom games for the battle pass, which is cool.
Firefights coming back.
Yeah. Halo 4's extraction mode is coming back, reimagined for Halo Infinite. Extraction
is that firefight?
Well, there's create your own PvE experience with the new Forge AI kit, and stay tuned for the arrival of Firefight, King of the Hill, and matchmaking. So I don't know exactly what that entails, but
so a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, it looks they've kind of just slowly over these seasons just made the game better and better. So yeah, I think Halo could have a nice turnaround.
I mean, I think it's already like
turned
around with season 3 and season 4, but
yeah,
it's just getting better at this point, which is awesome to see.
I'm still waiting for that DLC, just more campaign stuff, man.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll come, but
yeah, I don't think so. It will. I don't think it will. I didn't buy the premium battle pass for the latest. Have you bought any of the premium battle passes?
No, I haven't.
Okay, yeah, I bought 2 and 3, and then season 4, I didn't buy it. But I started to kind of fall off of it a little bit, but I'll probably jump back in for season 5 because it looks really cool.
Nice.
And then God, Nick, are you ready for The Last of Us 2 Remastered?
Dude, I'm not gonna buy this game so hard. So hard. I love Last of Us 2.
I will buy this game if they fix the story. And they spoilers for Last of Us 2. Boom, boom, boom. Hopefully they don't kill Joel this time. That would be great.
You think they would retcon the story?
I'm not upset that he died. I'm upset in the way that he died. I just don't think his death was fitting for the character of Joel. I think he's too smart to be in that situation where he just meets these random strange. Well, I know there's build up for they're getting away from the infected, but he just name drops himself and his brother immediately. Like, and they had, I guess, to think they had probably had no reason to think that somebody was coming after him, but I don't know. That's just not the Joel that we saw in the first game. I know it's been like 6 years since, and he's older. He's probably gotten less, what's the word?
Less skeptical.
Yeah, skeptical or like suspicious of others because, he's been in the community for so long. But I don't know. I just felt like it was too easy to get the information out of him. And that's what really bothered me about that game. Otherwise, I thought it was great.
Yeah, that sucks that happens within the first few hours. I mean, yeah, I think that game is really great. It was my game of the year of 2020. Like all this stuff, I can give it accolades all day.
Yeah.
But God, it does not need a remaster in 2023. 3 years later, when it was at the tail end of the PS4, like, what can they do to this game? I know it's a somewhat political move because they're probably going to release it around the same time as a season 2 of The Last of Us show. That's kind of how they positioned Last of Us 1 remastered, and maybe not, because I don't know if the show is going to have a season 2 in 2024. It would probably
with the writer's strike and stuff, it may not come out until 2025.
Right, but that could kind of be their angle with it of trying to get that in the media again, in the media space.
Yeah.
Again, heading into the show's second season.
I just say what you will about Sony and they dominate with the PS4. I think we're seeing the kind of turning point of PlayStation.
Creatively bankrupt.
They are absolutely creatively bankrupt. You're right. I mean, with just, I mean, again, high praise. They've got Ghost of Tsushima.
I didn't even love that game. I'll be honest.
I want to play it, but I mean that's a critical darling. Which scored.
It was in the mid 80s.
Well, I was gonna say something, but I'm gonna refrain from doing it. But you got Ghost of Tsushima. You've got obviously Spider-Man, Last of Us, God of War. What's the other mech robot game? What's it called? The animal. Horizon. Which I've heard, I still want to play it, but I've heard that people didn't like that one as nearly as much as the original. Again, they're all good games in their own right, but they're all third person, blah 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 games.
World, blah, blah.
Yeah. Yeah, and we can't even. We talked about Bloodborne earlier. A lot of people want Bloodborne. They're not giving it to us. And then with the reports coming out that the factions stuff has been iced. Because I don't know if we talked about it way back then, but they had PlayStation had oh my goodness, Bungie come in to evaluate how the factions was, because obviously it's going to be a free to play multiplayer game, whatever. And they were trying to evaluate how they were, because I think Bungie's probably really the best at the free to play whatever live service games. They said they weren't doing stuff right. So
basically they weren't set up to draw people back into the game, to keep people playing.
Yeah.
I think that's what the incentive was from Bungie.
Yeah, there wasn't a huge incentive to keep playing the game the long term. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it reportedly got iced. It's not necessarily canceled, but yeah, we can't even get that. that was promised with Last of Us 2, and then
Wild.
there's the rumors, and again, this hasn't been official or anything like that, but now we got inklings of this. Like it just, I don't know, man. I feel like they're kind of milking this stuff. I mean, what other franchise has 1, 2, 3, 4 iterations of a game, but only really 2 games?
Aside from Resident Evil 4,
Yeah, except for Resident Evil 4.
And I'll give it to that one because that's a great game. That's an amazing game.
Yeah.
And it, I don't know. I don't want to defend Resident Evil 4's re-releases, but it's always given a slightly different way to play it, which is cool. But the thing is, you can play Last of Us 2 on PS5.
Yeah, with like 1440p, like 60, like that game runs incredibly well. Like, yeah, there's no reason for it to be a thing.
Yeah, I don't understand it. I thought the point of remaking the first one was to bring it up to snuff with
2.
Part 2,
yeah,
and kind of bring into that, like, even like the naming, not like nomenclature of Part 1, Part 2, that kind of stuff. But like, I don't know, man. It's just it just seems super uninspired, super lazy.
Yeah,
they're doing this. If they're doing it, I mean, it's just rumors at this point, but I'm sure it's true.
Oh yeah, yeah. This is like the first like real rumor of the year. I'm just like, yeah, this is 100% true, 101% true. Neil Druckmann is just like, God,
not again,
not again.
I swear to God, if it's announced as like the last thing at the Game Awards this year,
I would never trust Jeff Keighley again with anything.
No.
Ugh. No, Nick, I wasn't even thinking about that. I wasn't even thinking about that.
Yeah, I don't
the most
know.
critically acclaimed game of all time
comes out.
Again. Last of Us Part 2 remastered Golf Club Edition.
Golf Club Edition. Get a special golf club statue when you pre-order the game.
God.
I don't know. This kind of stuff just makes me really like Nintendo right now because hearing the reports of Super Mario Bros. Wonder and how they pretty much had unlimited time and resources to make that game. And I don't know, it seems like Nintendo and even Xbox to an extent are like putting a lot of efforts into building new IP and making different
new IPs, yeah.
And PlayStation, like they're really leaning on existing IP. They're leaning on Marvel with Spider-Man and Wolverine.
Yep.
Like I don't think Wolverine could possibly live up to the expectations that people have in their head. Like I think it's gonna more or less be like a version of Spider-Man.
I hope that game's rated M and has like dismemberment and stuff, because there's just no way that it can't.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I'm just not super excited for anything that Sony has on the horizon for the PS5. Like,
and we also don't know anything other than like Final Fantasy, but that's a time exclusive. And Final Fantasy 16, to me, it seems like didn't hit too well with everybody. I think Final Fantasy needs to just go back to turn-based, like 100% turn-based. Just to see, do the next one turn-based, and then just see where people are at,
and release it multi-plat.
Yeah, God,
try to get it on the next Switch, because that's where the audience lies. Like that's where like your JRPG audience like really.
Yeah, that's like the machine for anything turn-based related.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like the JRPG powerhouse right there. Yeah, I don't know, man. Again, I feel like we always dog on Sony. They do have some of the best IPs, but this generation, it really feels like they're just so uninspired, and they're just kind of banking off of how well they did in the previous generation. And that's why I tend to root for Xbox a little bit harder, because I want competition, and I want them to feed off of each other and make some really cool things. And I feel like Xbox is doing that, and Sony isn't.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think it's bad when my favorite game on the PS5 is Demon's Souls.
Yeah.
A remake of a 2009 game. Like, why didn't I like God of War Ragnarok more than that?
Yeah.
But
And that's
again,
subjective, but
it's all, yeah,
I'm
it's
sure
very
there's a lot. I'm
subjective.
sure there's a
That's
lot of
their
people
game.
that absolutely love God of War. But I played it on my PS4, and it ran perfect for me on a original model PS4. So
Yeah.
here we are, in 2023, and Returnal,
Ratchet and Clank.
Ratchet and Clank, Forspoken, and Spider-Man are the only, and Gran Turismo are like the five exclusive games
Yeah.
for
And again,
PS5.
can't say much for Xbox.
No, you can't. You can't.
Starfield was the first one.
You can't. But you also expect. I don't know. You just feel like Sony should be doing a lot better than they are. They shouldn't have less first party exclusives than Xbox has.
Yeah. Every week we have a reason to rag on Sony a little bit, and this reason was Last of Us 2.
Yeah. God, man. I know it's 100% real, and there's going to be some ridiculous like special edition. It's going to want people that they're going to have like faceplates and stuff for the PS5, and it's going to be like limited, and it's going to be super annoying for people that want it. And that's cool, man. If you want it, cool. But I don't know. Maybe stick your ground and don't buy this thing, and show Sony, hey, yeah, we don't want remakes anymore. We want sequels and new IPs and stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
it's hard to. Yeah. I don't want to use the word boycott, because I think boycott's never actually ever worked. But yeah. I don't know. Maybe just don't spend $60. It's going to be $70. Don't spend $70 for a remake. It'll probably come out next year, maybe, or if they wait until 2025. So I mean, this could be 2 years away, right? And maybe 5 years is enough time for. But still, that still even feels like it's too soon. I don't know, man.
Any time feels too soon for this game for some reason.
Yeah.
People were comparing this to Mario Kart 8.
I saw that.
That released on the Wii U. You can't dog anything they decided to re-release on the Switch.
Yeah. No.
Also, that game has like triple the amount of content now than it did on the Wii U. Like they're adding new stuff to that game.
Yeah, I mean that game released with additional content before they even did all the DLC stuff. So yeah, I mean the Wii U sold 13 million units. Like they're gonna put all their biggest stuff on this. Yeah, Sony would do the same thing. If the PS4 flopped, everything's coming to the PS5. If it sells well. So
everybody's here.
Yeah, everybody's here. Smash Bro it.
Terrible comparison.
Yeah, everybody's here, man. Yeah, I saw that too. And I was just like, man, y'all.
Yeah, that's a terrible
that's not a good take.
No, it's a objectively incorrect take.
And then speaking of Resident Evil 4, I saw somebody getting super mad on the internet about the ladders being yellow. And I'm like, oh my god, man! Like you understand it's an accessibility thing, right? Like people can't always see.
And people did have trouble seeing they didn't know that the crates were
breakable.
Could be breakable in the original one because it blended into the environment. Like
they don't make these decisions just because they want to. They do playtests and stuff, and get
they get feedback.
They get feedback. Play a Dark Souls game. You'll miss a ladder all the time.
Yeah, dude, seriously.
Those aren't yellow.
Bloodborne.
Yeah,
those things are hidden in plain sight.
Yeah, that game is extremely dark. Yeah, they're you can constantly miss them. So I was like, man, people just complain about anything, anything and everything, while we're complaining about The Last of Us 2 that's not even announced yet. So it is what it is.
It's fine.
It all circles back. Anything else, Nick? Oh, the game of the year predictions.
Yeah. So I think there's normally six.
Okay.
6 slots. So I mean, we all know Tears of the Kingdom is going to be there.
Tears of the Kingdom.
I think we know Baldur's Gate 3 is going to be there.
Baldur's Gate 3. Spider-Man's probably going to be on that list too.
Spider-Man 2 will probably be on the list. Anything from Nintendo?
people. I saw people tweeting about Wonder being on the list. I just don't think it will be.
I think it might be.
You think it's going to be that? I mean, it looks incredible.
But I don't know how.
Nintendo doesn't, historically speaking, Nintendo does not get a ton of love from the Game Awards outside of like Tears, like Zelda.
Yeah, but I think if
like Xenoblade Chronicles 3 didn't win Best Soundtrack, like that's
biggest
the biggest snuff in Game Awards history.
Yeah. I think Wonder could be on there.
Okay, we'll say Wonder.
Well enough. If it's like a 90+ game, I think it could be on there.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know what else.
Do you think they would? Do you think they would put a remake like Resident Evil 4 on there or Dead Space?
Yeah, I think with how well RE4 reviewed, I think it could go on there.
Okay. What about like Sea of Stars?
Yeah,
get like an indie game on there.
I think Sea of Stars will be the indie plug.
Okay.
And then maybe Starfield makes it on there because it's a big enough game.
Yeah.
But like I'm torn between that and like Diablo 4.
So we've got Tears of the Kingdom, Spider-Man, Baldur's Gate, Sea of Stars, Resident Evil 4, and did we say something else? Mario Wonder. That's 6 right there.
6.
Yeah, I don't think Starfield gets on the list. I think Starfield, well, I don't know, because Baldur's Gate is also an RPG. And Diablo. I don't know. I feel like a lot of people loved Diablo 4 and then they instantly jumped off of it. Like I haven't heard a lot of good things post-launch stuff for Diablo 4.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad I didn't pick it up. Because it seemed like the love for that ended very, very swiftly.
Yeah. What do you think takes it? Out of those 6, if they're correct.
Tears of the Kingdom.
You think so?
Yeah. I think realistically it'll be between Tears of the Kingdom and Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah, man.
I don't know. I'm really excited to play Baldur's Gate 3 at some point. I think it might be hyped up a little bit. I've not played it, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I take that back. I don't know if it's being hyped up. I don't know if it's being overhyped.
People loved it, man. I don't know. It was like this, and Tears of the Kingdom is like what I've seen across like social media pretty much this entire year. And then Starfield, just because people were just
copium.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't think Starfield makes. I don't think Starfield's gonna be on the list. I think it'll be on the best RPG list. I don't know. It could be. I don't know.
Best first person RPG set in space.
Set in space. Yeah. Obviously we haven't played Baldur's Gate, so Tears of the Kingdom is probably what we would want on that list. But yeah, I think Baldur's Gate has a pretty. I didn't think going into this year. I thought Tears of the Kingdom would be an absolute lock-in for Game of the Year, but yeah, with Baldur's Gate, I mean that could take it.
Could take it. I don't think it'll be Spider-Man 2. I think that game will probably be in the high 80s.
I think so. Yeah, I think it'll be like an 88.
Yeah. It's like every game that comes out on the PS5. It's like an 88 or 87, something like that. Yeah, I don't think Sea of Stars or I don't think those would take it either. So yeah, I mean it's really just a competition between Baldur's Gate and Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
Unless Wonder just comes out and blows everyone out of the water.
I mean, I would love to see it. I would love to see it. I'm excited for Wonder. Yeah, if it's something incredible, yeah. I mean,
or like Alan Wake 2. I mean, that could kind of
take place
before if that game is good enough.
That's true. Yeah, it'll get right in, because like the cutoff date's like what, like November 7th or something, 4th, something. It's like the first week of November. Yeah, Alan 2 could. I forgot that they would be included. That could be a potential.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll see. Yeah, that could be a good list though. Tears of the Kingdom, Baldur's Gate, Sea of Stars, Spider-Man 2, Mario Wonder, and then something in that sixth spot.
Resident Evil 4,
Resident Evil 4.
Alan Wake, maybe Dave the Diver. A lot of people love that game.
Yeah, maybe Dave the Diver.
Still need to play that demo on the Switch.
Yeah, I forgot there was a demo for that game.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard this year because there's so many good games.
So many good games.
I mean, best year in gaming.
What? Yeah.
One of.
Yeah. All right, Nick. Any last thoughts?
I think I'm all out of thoughts here.
I'm all out of thoughts. I'm out of thinking, man.
Out of thinking.
You should grab a clip or two from trombone champ and put it on TikTok. All right, guys. Well, we'll follow up with everyone. Follow up. Jeez. We'll be back. We'll be back next week.
Working mode.
Yeah, exactly. We'll be back next week. Maybe talking some Lords of the Fallen. Maybe just we'll see how the reviews go.
See how it ends up.
Yeah, and then we'll talk about whatever news drops and all that good stuff. But yeah, you can follow us all over can't talk, man.
Where are you at, man?
Social studies. Gosh, I'm back to 5th grade. You can follow all of our social stuff in the description below. TikTok, Twitter, all that good stuff. Follow us there. We do some polls and stuff like that. It's always a good time.
Yes, it is.
All right, guys. Well, we'll see y'all next week. Bye bye.